Hi everyone, welcome to my second PhoneGap tutorial. This one's going to just be an addendum to my first Hello World example to show you how to install some new development tools that I found, and they're the Desktop App, the Developer App, and Winery. So PhoneGap has made these new tools so you no longer need to use the PhoneGap build website and upload your project like we did in the first tutorial. If you wanted to run PhoneGap locally, you don't need to install it with npm or use commands to build projects. So the PhoneGap Developer App allows you to develop locally and then see the changes instantly on your mobile device. So there's no need when you make a change to re-sign, recompile, or reinstall your app to test your code. It's just instantly there. And you'll also have access to device APIs that aren't available if you're testing in a web browser. So what are we going to end up with after this tutorial? Well, here's a quick preview how you can see a web browser or your NetBeans or your IDE and your phone over on the right here. And as you refresh your phone, it connects with the Winery server, which gives you access to all kinds of information live from your phone, like the JavaScript console. You can even put commands in and have them instantly appear on your phone, like this. We'll get to that later. So let's just get into this tutorial, and we'll install PhoneGap Desktop first, and then the developer app on your device, and we'll test those, and then we'll install Winery. That is a little involved, but we'll step through it. Okay, well, before we begin, you might want to take a look at the first video. It's 25 minutes, called PhoneGap Tutorial on YouTube. It has a little bit more details on the APIs and getting set up, so you understand how PhoneGap works. But after you watch that, you might want to go this route and set this option up on your computer instead of using the PhoneGap website. So the first thing we're going to do is install the PhoneGap Desktop App on your computer. And we'll show you how to download it, install it, run it, and create your first project. So you go to your PhoneGap.com website, and there you'll find the PhoneGap Developer App on the home page. Just click Get It Now, and it'll take you to that site, and then we'll click on the PhoneGap Install page, and instead of using npm and installing PhoneGap locally on your computer, we'll just use the new installer, which is available for Windows or Mac. Here I'll download it and install it, accept all this stuff, and as easy as that, your PhoneGap Developer App is running on your desktop. Here we're going to create a new project. You just choose where you want to put it. I'm going to put it in my NetBeans projects folder, and I'm just going to name this Hello World 2 and create project. And you can allow your firewall to have access to this. Now you'll notice down on the bottom of there's a little green box there, and then also under settings you can see that this PhoneGap Developer App is running at a certain port and IP address. For me, it's 192.168.1.18, and we'll need that number later for making all these connections. So now we're going to install the developer app on your device. I'm using iOS, which now is really nice because we don't have to go to Apple and buy a developer license for $100 a year. We can test on our iOS devices right now without any cost. So I'm just going to search for PhoneGap at the store, and the first app that comes up is the one we're looking for. I'm going to download that. And open it. Now the app starts running, it shows it's loading, and it asks to connect. So you want to connect to your desktop app. So you want to type in the IP address that we had previously found when we started the desktop app. And include the port number of 3000 or whatever it is for your computer. Now it's going to start downloading, but I notice that it's sort of frozen. And the reason for that is my phone is on a different Wi-Fi network than my computer is. So we have to go and fix that. Go to settings, and I'm going to have to switch my phone's Wi-Fi to a different network. And then I'll double check on my PC that which network it's connected to, and they're both the same. So now it should work. So we'll try to reconnect here. And it looks like it's working. And there the Hello World program is running. Great, so we got the desktop app and the developer app running on our PC and our phone, and they're talking to each other. Now, what makes this all even more useful is to use Winery, that allows you to debug and sort of watch what's going on with your app in real time. Now, installing Winery isn't too difficult. It makes it a little more complicated if you don't have NPM installed yet on your computer. But let's get started. So if you have NPM already, you can just try this and see if it works. First, we'll search for Winery at Google. It's an Apache.org project, and go to the installing page, and it has all the instructions. But we'll have to open the command prompt in Windows or Terminal in Mac, and let's try the install command. So I'm going to try that, and it says it's not recognized. So now I'm going to go to NPM for Windows and find the MSI program to install NPM. And I just go to the release and download the Node.js. Right now it's 5.0, and then NPM is installed with that. I already had this installed, but this is what it would look like. And so when I go back to my command prompt and I browse to program files, Node.js, then I can type my npm command that I did before. There it is. And Winery will start installing. Okay, there it is. So if I try the Winery command to get the Winery server running, you just type in Winery bound host, and then the IP address of your desktop app, and yeah. And there it says, starting a server. Now it's at the same IP, but a different port number, and we'll need to use that in the next step. So if Winery doesn't run after installing it. I had this problem and I just rebooted, and I think it was probably a path or environment variable that just reset after I rebooted, so give that a try. So when I get back to NetBeans here, I'm going to just add a line of code right here at line 40, which has the Winery script that is going to be used by the system to communicate with the device. And it uses the same IP, but the Winery server port. So copy this script line here, which will connect your app to Winery. Now, if you go to a browser tab and you type in that IP address and 8080 port /client, you will get some targets that will be connected, that will connect Winery with your app. Now you can see the DOM of the app that's on your phone. And here I have my phone running, and as you put your cursor through the DOM, you can see the phone actually highlights in real time. And if I reload this app in the phone, I'm going to reconnect. Sometimes it's helpful to do that to get things connected properly. And if I go to the console log, I can see the console log results here, and even type my own commands in the console log and see how they affect on the phone. So now you know how to do local PhoneGap development, and it's pretty easy with these new tools. You should now have these 3 things up and running: the desktop app, the developer app, and Winery. Now try experimenting by adding those PhoneGap plugins and device controls that we did in the first tutorial. That should do it for now. Good luck. Thanks.